I'm just sitting out here on the back porch waiting for the movers to come or text me or do whatever they're going to do before they show up. And I'm having a cup of coffee, my first cup of coffee since Saturday, a week and a day ago. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, wow, what a beautiful day it is today. And then it occurred to me that it's Litha today and the summer solstice. And I completely, it's funny when you don't have your life cues around you to remind you what's going on in your cycles of life. Because on the summer solstice, I always, not always, but almost, for the last 20 years, I may have missed a year or two, brewed mead on the summer solstice. I invoke Ra, the sun god, and I put a spell in the mead to ask the sun and ask the sun god to infuse my mead with the warmth and the energy of the summer solstice sun. And then the mead does its thing all through the summer and autumn months. And on Yule, the winter solstice, I usually have a big party. Not sure what's going to happen now, but I usually every year have a big party. You've probably seen them throughout the time you've been following me. On that night, I brew. I don't brew. Well, I do brew a mulled wine, but I cook stew, like old-fashioned stew from my mother's side of the family. The Cornish had stew on the solstice, and I mean on the winter solstice, and there's a lot of reasons why. So I do that. It's to honor the root vegetables, excuse me, which was pretty much the only thing that was available, and maybe lamb. But I do that. I have a big party, and we open up the mead and we release the summer sun at that time. And so, what will happen is that, as we know, the sun will start returning the next morning. So, that's part of our encouragement to welcome the sun back. And at the day after Yule, the sun will start building in the sky again and getting stronger and stronger and stronger until we hit the summer solstice, which is today. Today will be the most powerful day of the sun energy. And then tomorrow the sun will start waning and we go through the cycle and honor Litha and the summer solstice. And I should be brewing mead right now. It's going to be really fun to be in my new home and see how all this works out. I'll have to start all my new cycles again. I'll have to start all my new, not my new traditions, but my new ways of doing things. But I think it'll be wonderful. I'm super excited about it. Because when you're a solitary witch and you've been practicing for, oh, I don't know, with my mom since I was a little girl. Yeah, I guess my mom was like 30. I was 20, she was 22, I think, when she had me. I don't know, 10, since I've been 10, or maybe even younger. Anyway, so it's really funny because you take everything for granted. Like, and this world has opened up so hugely since I was a little girl. And so I was kind of curious as how to pronounce what I always said was Litha or Lithia. Either way, I've heard it pronounced both ways, and I probably should find a way to pronounce it and stick to that way. You know what? I'm going to look that up because we have that capability now. Like, I don't have to ask my mom, which I can't because she's passed, but I'm going to have to, and I don't have really any pagan friends. I associate with all people in all kinds of wonderful cultures and life ways and religions, and I just happen to not have any pagan friends in where I live. I really haven't ever. I have made one pagan friend, but it's she's very much on the peripherals of my life. We have tried to bring our lives together, and it just doesn't work. She is either going through something or I'm going through something. And so anyway, my point being is that I looked it up on this wonderful technology we have called, I guess, technology. I'm such an analog person. I didn't even know what the analog meant. I was out somewhere and I had my little notebook and I was writing in it, and somebody said something, and I said something to me about writing, and I said, I know it's very, very difficult for me to write with my hand. It still is extremely painful, and so I can only write a little bit at a time, and that's really difficult for me because I'm a writer, I am a writer and a storyteller, clearly, but I write. I don't tap. I don't record verbally into my phone, and so, which I've been learning to do since my surgeries, but anyway, I digress. Me digress? Never. So she's like, oh yeah, so she made some kind of comment about being an analog person. And I was like, oh, what does that even mean, analog person? So I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to look stupid. So I agreed, yeah, analog person. Mm-hmm. And so we talked for a little bit and she went on her way and I finished my notes and I looked up analog person in AI. How ironic is that? So I found out that I am an analog person. However, being an analog person, I should be writing a summer solstice spell right now by hand in my notebook, but instead I looked up how to pronounce Litha, and it's actually pronounced Litha. Litha. And he said it like that, Litha. He kind of did have an accent. I don't think that, being born and raised in California, I should be trying to have a European accent. Litha. Welcome to Litha. Anyway, so it's Litha. Leetha is how it's pronounced. Litha. So now I know that. Litha. So it is Litha today. And I found out something new, which is what Litha is all about. It's all about new beginnings and starting new projects and new life ways and bringing this really powerful solar energy into our lives and using it for our travels and our journeys forward, which I think is completely appropriate because I was supposed to move yesterday and obviously I did not. And so today I'm actually moving on a day that is intended for new beginnings. So I really love that.